Live from Wayne Profit Court on the campus of the University of Lynchburg, you're watching LHSN and our production of a tri-match volleyball action coming to you here on this Saturday afternoon. Thank you all for spending your Saturday here with us. TJ Winger alongside Aaron Farina for game number one of our tri-match. Going to be between Virginia Wesleyan and the University of Lynchburg. And Aaron, starting with the Marlins, coming off a dominant showing this past Wednesday against St. Mary's of Maryland, winning in straight sets, and then the weekend prior, playing in the John Hopkins Invitational Tournament and competing with some of the best teams inside the country.
Absolutely. I mean, Virginia Wesleyan has definitely come off of a really strong week of volleyball. Obviously, they have a pretty strong record at this point also, and I'm sure they're ready to be in this gym and add an ODAC win to their record. On
the other side, Lynchburg coming off their best match of the year on Wednesday night, sweeping Guilford, and a match that only lasted 50 minutes. Not only was the play really good, the energy and the atmosphere here in Turner Gymnasium was rocking.
Wednesday was definitely the best we have seen Lynchburg play this season. I think that they're finally finding themselves on the floor, finding their chemistry as a team, and it'll be really exciting to see how they come out in this first set.
We are underway between the Marlins and the Hornets. Abby Leeper missing wide. It actually looks like might have caught the sideline. Hornets strike first and lead 1-0. Lynchburg entering at 2-5, 1-0 in ODAC play. Virginia Wesleyan comes in 7-3 overall. Taylor Breeden, the setter for Lynchburg. From the 5 spot, Lynchburg able to retaliate. Corey May pops it up. Taylor Breeden back sets, wants Leeper. Couple of Marlins lay out. Neither come up with it. Lynchburg now up 2-1. Leeper back to serve, nearly gets the ace. Breeden looking for May. Little roll shot there coming from Morgan Lodovici, sophomore from Virginia Beach. Excuse me, now the Marlins ahead 2-1. Lodovici to the service line. 8 service aces entering today's play. Sends it to Corey May. Breeden gives it to Bryce. Set up and a strong strike coming downhill from Emma Clater. Go down to her 70th kill on the year. Back to the 1 spot with May, set up by Breeden. And missing wide after the strike from Emma Drake. Actually looks like deflected off of a Marlin. Point goes to Lynchburg. Now a 3-2 score. Back set, the strike is long. Coming from Abigail Mahoney. We're tied up 3-all. Cole Bryce back to serve, freshman from North Chesterfield, Virginia. On the second, sent over by Virginia Wesleyan. Setter Haley Sutton. Seen a lot of action early on. Clater now back to serve for the Marlins. Hits across the back line. A little bit of miscommunication between the 1 and 6 spot, Leeper and Corey May. Service ace puts Virginia Wesleyan up by 2. Breeden gives to Princess Salafu, and Salafu into the net. Marlins up 6-3. And Clater going on a nice run from the service line. Popped up by Flynn Christian. Breeden sets for May, and it stays in. Corey May, a senior from Apex, North Carolina, came in with 52 kills. And you can see the offense being set up for May early on. Maya Green back to serve for Lynchburg, trailing by 2. Barely stays in play, popped up by Jenna Waters. Waters now takes the hit and deflected off of Abby Leeper. Marlins respond with a point of their own. Swears now to serve for Virginia Wesleyan. Maya Green sets up May. Waters on the near side, popped up by Christian. Back set by Leeper, hit from May. Waters will try once again, misses long. And at least early on, not only a full house on hand here at Wayne Prophet Court, but the energy carrying over from Wednesday night for Lynchburg. This hit by May and goes out across the far sideline. And a timeout called. Coach Hannah Givens. Marlins up 9-4. The energy's been there, but playing a tough team like Virginia Wesleyan, not a whole lot of room for error, and we've seen some room for improvement early on for the Hornets.
Virginia Wesleyan definitely has control of this game right now. You know, they're putting heavy swings down, they're controlling the ball, they're controlling their passes, they're putting tough serves in. Lynchburg, they're not necessarily erring all that much other than a couple shank passes here and there off a serve receive or off of defensive plays, but they're playing really timid right now and they can't get their offense started. So they really need to focus on settling a pass and really trying to be aggressive on the net.
And as a former player, does it sometimes just take 1 point, one solid sequence to get your rhythm and your feet set into a game like this?
It can definitely change the flow of the energy on your side of the court. I mean, it really only takes one player to bang a ball down and to just get everybody riled up again and get some confidence flowing.
We'll see if the Hornets are able to do just that. Grace Swears back to serve. Sends it to Corey May. Set by Green. May takes the hit, sends it to the back line. Ludovici. Now Flynn Christian Libero has it sent all the way back. Good hustle from Sophia Rucker. Lynchburg able to get it over. From the 5 spot, taking the hit was Ludovici, but Princess Salafu says, no, not today. Marlins still up by 4. As you mentioned, Aaron, sometimes it takes one play. And your middle blocker coming through like that, that could be the play that Lynchburg's looking for. Jordan Bartemeyer to serve for the Hornets. Jenna Waters, missing strong. Little 2-0 run here from Lynchburg. I think that was one of the big differences we saw from this past Wednesday and the Wednesday prior against Southern Virginia. Lynchburg would get to the service line, and against the Knights of Southern Virginia, it'd be a point here, 2 points there. Against Guilford, it was 6, 7, 8 point stretches.
Absolutely. I mean, Lynchburg really needs to focus right now on keeping the ball in their hands, keeping their service run, and just taking 1 point at a time, playing their pace of the game.
Waters missing into the net. Freshman from Herndon, Virginia. A couple of misfires. Bartemeyer back to the service line. 3-0 run now for the Hornets. Send it to the 5 spot. Well played by Alexis Davis Hackenberg. Senior came in with 142 assists. This time does it herself. Gets the point, and now the Marlins turn to the service line. Waters with the honors. Sends it to Bartemeyer. Green will set. Salafu with authority down towards got it. Nice play there from number 11, Sydney Collins. Keeping it alive for Virginia Wesleyan. Green will try for Leeper. Blocked. Hornets able to respond. Soft touch from Rucker. Flynn Christian down to a knee. Leeper denied. Bartemeyer plays it up. Green for Rucker. And this Long volley continues. Leaper looking to bring it to a close, and she does. Not how she drew it up. This is long and wide. Virginia Wesleyan wins the battle. Salafu forced to send it over on the third. Roll shot, garners a point. Sydney Collins, senior from Fredericksburg, Virginia. Middle blocker extends the lead to 5 for Virginia Wesleyan. Salafu maybe a little too strong in the hit. Green was trying to give chase, but get into that awkward limbo where you can't touch the net. Got to find a way to get it over. Green unable to do just that. Short serve, Christian to it. Green trying to set up Leaper. Another point for the Marlins. Another assist for Davis Hackenberg. Waters continues long service stretch. Christian lays out and underneath, or crossing the line underneath the net. Green sets for Leaper, blocked at the net. Denied by, looked like Davis Hackenberg. The 6-foot senior comes through in a big play. Now a 6-0 Marlins run. Another soft serve. They'll try again with Leaper and denied once more. And the block between Davis Hackenberg as well as Sydney Collins stalwarting the Lynchburg attack. And getting your block up was a key point of success for Lynchburg on Wednesday against Guilford. But early on in the first set, it's been Virginia Wesleyan with the advantage there.
Right now, Lynchburg is having a really hard time getting through Virginia Wesleyan's block, obviously. I mean, they've got a pretty strong and pretty tall front line, and Lynchburg is not doing a very good job of settling the ball and moving the offense the way they want to. They really need to work on playing shots, spreading out those blockers so they can find holes in the floor and holes in the seams.
So a pair of seniors headlining the attack over this long run for Virginia Wesleyan. Alexis Davies Hackenberg and Sydney Collins. Collins at 5'10", Davies Hackenberg at 6 foot. And another timeout called by Hannah Givens, trying to reset the momentum and talk to her team down by 10. Crazy things can happen in volleyball. Don't count out a comeback here from the Hornets. As you mentioned, Aaron, it can happen in a snap of a finger. Right now, Waters at the service line. Virginia Wesleyan, to say they're in the driver's seat might be an understatement. It's an 8-0 run for the Marlins. Waters looking to continue that stretch. Back set for Rucker, denied by Collins. Bartemeyer sets, Leaper to the 5 spot, laying out. Great play there from Isabel Gaudet. Libero for the Marlins. Collins tipped it at the line and then Gaudet popped it up for a second, but point will go to Lynchburg, snapping that 8-0 run. The Hornets with a chance to mount a rally of their own. Senior Flynn Christian with the honors. Sends it to Gaudet. Set up by Davies Hackenberg. The hit from Collins on the slide. Roll shot from Leaper. Hard hit coming from Ludovici. Leaper tries one of her own. Davies Hackenberg on the second hit. Now Rucker. To the middle of the Hornets defense. Lynchburg there. Leaper tries again. Got it. Davies Hackenberg And then the shot missing long from Ludovici. A couple of long rallies in this opening set. One that went the way of Virginia Wesleyan. This one not quite as long, but Hornets garner the point. Davies Hackenberg wants Ludovici. Tip to the line and out of play. Collins checks out. In comes Emma Clater. She was in the starting lineup for Virginia Wesleyan. Serving now for the Marlins is Isabel Gaudet. Another freshman getting a line playing time for Virginia Wesleyan. Nicole Bryce down with authority. Got it there though. Ludovici. Rucker blocked. Emma Clater there. Getting another point for Virginia Wesleyan. Lead up to 10. Got it from Lynchburg, New York. 5 service aces coming in today. Sends it to Christian. Hit a little long. Ludovici sends it down with authority. And Aaron, you and I have talked about it. Once you get to this 20-point mark, it's a race to 25. We'll see if Lynchburg can make it interesting. But I think the difference between a good and a great team is being able to go from 20 to 25 with no response from the other side.
Absolutely. I mean, Virginia Wesleyan should be aiming to close out this match in straight points right now. Lynchburg really needs to focus on making it hard for them to do that. You know, it's going to be a really tough thing to do to come back from a 9-21 deficit.
Sure.
But the best thing they can do right now is battle back as tough as they can and make it hard for Virginia Wesleyan to close out this set quickly.
Leaper down to the hardwood. Green sets for Rucker. Shot misses long. Now a 13-point Virginia Wesleyan advantage in set number 1. So this becomes the first ODAC match of the year for Virginia Wesleyan. Hornets entering at 1-0. Leaper, after having it tipped at the nets, falls softly onto the hardwood. Lynchburg wins the point, now down by 12. Waters to Davies Hackenberg, and the kill from Emma Clater. Well, considering this Virginia Wesleyan team went 5 sets and battled with number 2 Johns Hopkins and then won in straight sets against St. Mary's of Maryland, I was excited to see what this team looked like, and early on, they lived up to all my expectations. 2 points away from winning the opening set. Haley Sutton. Set from Taylor Breeden. Leaper takes the hit. Sutton sets for Clater. Shot from Mahoney denied. Laying out. Breeden shows a lot of hustle in the play. No one there for the second touch. We have reached set point. Bartemeyer lays out. Breeden gives to Leaper. Got it. The strong hit followed by Mahoney. Try it again. Mahoney deflected off the arms of Alexis Horner, and Virginia Wesleyan takes set number 1, 25-10. With authority, Marlins with the early 1-0 set advantage. We'll step aside and come back with set number 2 between the Hornets and the Marlins, coming to you on LHSN.
When you come to the University of Lynchburg to earn a master's degree in athletic training, you'll spend time in the classroom, but you'll also spend a lot of time in our top-notch facilities, learning from athletic trainers and working closely with our student athletes. In the Graduate Cadaver Lab, you'll learn about the human body in the best way possible, by actually studying the human body. This will provide a foundation to make you a much better athletic trainer. In the Athletic Training Laboratory, you'll get hands-on experience, practicing your skills, applying concepts from the classroom, and working with faculty on research projects. It's also where our hydrotherapy facilities are. This space is also used by students for studying and practicing skills outside of class time. In the Sports Medicine Clinic and Turner Gymnasium, you'll work with student athletes from more than 20 NCAA Division III sports teams, helping get them back to practice and into the game as soon as possible. As an athletic training student, you're a big part of the success of our sports teams and the success of the local athletic teams. We see this relationship as a win-win situation. You learn, and that helps us win.
I was looking for a school that could provide me with the athletics, academics to pursue my career, a wind symphony to pursue my passion for music, and really have a nice general atmosphere. The professors here are really unique, their background and their passion for teaching. It's really a place where you can explore. Lynchburg gives you the opportunity to fail, but also get back up in that period of time and learn from your mistakes. I can make these mistakes within the school environment, but also with the support of other friends, and be ready for the real world when you graduate.
Welcome back to Wayne Profit Court on the campus of the University of Lynchburg. Set number one goes way to Virginia Wesleyan. 1-0 lead over Lynchburg. Teaching winger alongside Aaron Farina. And Aaron, you're a former setter here at the University of Lynchburg, and I think a couple players that have stood out, at least to me, Alexis Davies-Hackenberg as well as Haley Sutton, the two setters, making the attack easy for the Marlins.
Absolutely. I mean, Haley Sutton, she's their starting setter in their row one rotation. I mean, she's done a phenomenal job of running her hitters and running her offense the way that she absolutely wants to. I mean, her passers have done a really good job of keeping them in system for the most part, making her job a lot easier. But, I mean, she's done a great job distributing the ball and putting her hitters in a great spot to play the way they want to. Davies-Hackenberg, obviously she's playing a 5-2, which means she's setting front row because she is a bit taller. She's done a really good job of being able to be an offensive threat and a defensive threat on the front line. I mean, she adds a big portion to that block and giving the Hornets some trouble.
Opening play, scrapes the tape, goes out of play, and the Hornets start set number two up 1-0. Taylor Breeden to serve. Davies-Hackenberg, make that Sutton. Gives to Ludovici. Walks across the sideline, just barely missing wide. 2-0 Hornets advantage. This is the only ODAC play on the slate for today. After this, it'll be Averett and Virginia Wesleyan. Averett will be members of the ODAC next year. And then our 5 o'clock game number 3 of the day will be University of Lynchburg and the Averett Cougars going toe-to-toe. The aforementioned Sutton to the service line, 24 aces entering today's play. Breeden over to Emma Drake, and we haven't seen a whole lot of hard hit shots so far from Lynchburg, but that one down with authority from Drake.
I tell you what, Emma Drake was fired up before this match, and I think that if Lynchburg can find a way to get her the ball more often, I think that they'll be able to spread out their offense, because I think she's going to put down some good balls today.
Drake, a right side hitter. And when she's out there, you certainly feel her impact on the game. Abby Leeper to serve. Lynchburg up 4-1 in set number 2. Sutton sets up Clater, gets the point back for Virginia Wesleyan. And going back to the first set, towards the latter portion of the opening set, it was an 8-0 run for Virginia Wesleyan. Lynchburg gets 2 points, and then the set ends with another 8-0 run from Virginia Wesleyan. All that to say, dominant showing in the opening set of play. Lynchburg comes out in the second set, playing well, but now a 2-0 stretch here from the Marlins. And the additional point to that is when Virginia Wesleyan gets into a groove at the service line, things get out of hand quick. But a good kill there. Looks like it was Nicole Bryce getting the point for the Hornets, making it 5-3. And the freshman Bryce back to serve. Service error. Makes it 5-4. Emma Clater sends it to the 5. Played up by Drake. Forced to send it over is Mahoney. Missing wide left. And now we're starting to see a few more errors here in the second set from Virginia Wesleyan than what we saw in the opening set between these two teams. The southpaw Green barely keeps it in. Such a tough play there for Morgan Ludovici in the 6th spot, having to walk that line. Is it in? Is it out? The judgment guessed wrong. Hornets up by 3. Send it to Waters. Set up by Sutton. Great block there from Corey May, denying the shot from Abigail Mahoney. The early momentum to set 2, riding with Lynchburg. Ludovici to Sutton, taking the hit. Number 11, Sydney Collins, able to split the difference between May and Leeper. Gay Swears to serve once again for Virginia Wesleyan. Maya Green wants Salafu, deflected into the grandstands. So here in set number 2, seeing some harder hits from the Hornets, some momentum on their side. Things looking up, at least early on. So a lot to be played here in set number 2. Davies Hackenberg wants Collins, laying out. Great play from Leeper. The second up and over the net and out of play. 9-6. Your score in the second set. Green wanting Leeper, denied. Gaudette plays it up for Ludovici. Salafu has it walk across the tape. Ludovici will try again, tipped up by Salafu. Green, now Christian sets. Leeper sends it all the way back to Gaudette. And Ludovici gives to Waters for the third hit, denied by Salafu. Set up by Davies Hackenberg. Roll shot back to Christian. On the second, Green tries to steal a point. And off the forearms of Jordan Bartemeyer. Long battle, ends in a point for the Marlins. Deficit down to 2. That can be a momentum-changing type of play. Virginia Wesleyan certainly hoping that's the case. Back set from Green. Would have been a tough play for O'Donnell to make, getting up and over the net. Salafu with the kill, puts the lead back up to 2 for Lynchburg. And on Wednesday night against Guilford, Salafu and Nicole Bryce both played fantastic. Those middle blockers not only were great on the attack, but defensively speaking, they were a huge factor into the dominant win for the Hornets.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that Lynchburg's block is struggling a little bit more right now than it was on Wednesday. Obviously, they're playing a much more competitive hitting team today, so that makes sense. But if Lynchburg wants to be successful, they need to find a way to get their middles involved offensively. And Salafu and Bryce are just, they're way too dangerous offensively to not have them be able to have their hand on a ball.
And because of that, starting to get flashbacks to the Wednesday night game against Southern Virginia, where the Knights had hard hitter after hard hitter lined up basically throughout the entire roster, and the attack, or the defense, middle block in specific, for Lynchburg wasn't up to snuff. And now we're tied up 10-all in set number 2. The Marlins able to battle back, and this one off the arms of Christian and out of play. And now Virginia Wesleyan takes the lead. And a timeout called by Coach Hannah Givens. And a long run here from the Marlins, taking momentum back in the second set. Happened a little bit before the long volley, but it was that back and forth, two teams exchanging sides. Point goes to Virginia Wesleyan, and since then, feels like the Marlins are back where they were in set number 1.
Yeah, I think after set 1, obviously, Virginia Wesleyan won that set pretty handily.
Right.
And I think that the beginning of the second, we saw them be a little bit too comfortable. And Lynchburg obviously comes back a little bit. They come into the second set with a little more fire and a little more competitive nature in their play. Right, and I think Virginia Wesleyan, they're going to have to battle back a little bit right now and keep in mind that this still isn't going to be a competitive game regardless of the first set, you know?
Well, how hard is it after you outright dominate the first set to then be able to be ready to go back at it? Because second set's brand new. There's 0-0 when you start it.
It's incredibly hard. I mean, it's a really tough mental challenge, you know? I mean, that's why there are so many teams you see come in and they're playing a team at the bottom of their conference and they're at the top of their conference, and you see close sets and you still get a sweep, but you have close sets, or they go to 4 or they go to 5. And I mean, it is really easy in volleyball to get things in your head and just mentally play down to your opponent, and not necessarily that Lynchburg is a lesser opponent than Virginia Wesleyan, but in that type of nature, like if you're playing a lot better, it is really easy to relax and just think that you're going to coast that way for the rest of the match.
I think that's one of the toughest challenges about being a college volleyball player, because in baseball, you're not getting through the third inning and saying, all right, now it's 0-0 all over again, or, you know, football, whatever sport you want to compare it to. You don't just start all over again. So certainly a tough challenge. And out of the timeout, Lynchburg garners a point, ties this one up 11-all in the second set.
See a little bit of what Lynchburg's block actually can do with that last point.
And it's Drake and Bryce, two of the tallest players on the roster, both out there. That figures to help. Davies Hackenberg wants to set up Clater, but denied by that middle block. And when that block does get up, this Lynchburg defense exponentially better, and then this team just has energy built off of it. Ludovici has it tipped at the net. Breeden sets for Leeper. Great hustle there from Swears. Drake has her shot denied. Bryce forced to play it all the way back to Gaudit. Davies Hackenberg for Ludovici. Missing long. Hornets up by 2. And again, going back to that Southern Virginia game, it was a dominant first set from the Knights, and the third set ended up being the same, but then that middle set was very evenly battled, and that's sort of what we're seeing in the early portions today. Drake gets it over. Swears sets for Ludovici. And the sophomore garners the point, cutting the deficit in half. Haley Sutton now to serve for Virginia Wesleyan. Again, opening match of ODAC play for the Marlins, entering today 7-3 overall. Leeper looking to go cross court. And Waters unable to get an arm on it. Leeper first team all ODAC last year. led the conference in kills, total number of kills. Ludovici. Every swing she takes, you feel it up here in the stands. And it's not just Ludovici. You also have Abigail Mahoney, who's thrown a couple down. Sydney Collins, Emma Clater, just to name a few for Virginia Wesleyan. And Ludovici serving now for Virginia Wesleyan. Game of the day with 8 service aces. Miscommunication, but it also goes out. The look of relief, on the faces of Corey May and Flynn Christian to see that ball go out. A thing to marvel at here at Turner Gymnasium. Shot from Waters, missing wide. Waters, a freshman. You can see they're trying to set her up a lot. She's been a little all over the place. Hit the net a few times, missed long. That one missing wide right. Mahoney has this one miss wide right as well. Hornets now up by 3. Overall, 11 attack errors for Virginia Wesleyan. Waters as it tick off the tape. Got it. Sets for Sutton, again with Waters. Just barely missing the near sideline. Now a timeout called by first-year head coach Carissa Cumberbatch. And it's a string of unforced errors here in the second set that feels like the difference, especially in this 4-0 run. But even early on, part of it I feel like has to go to Emma Drake and some of the hard hits from the Lynchburg side, creating energy and creating some momentum on their side. And then those early errors compounded with, 3 or 4 in a row now from Virginia Wesleyan, proving to be the difference here in set number 2.
Absolutely. And I mean, Lynchburg hasn't been super offensive in this set, but they're playing really good defense. They're playing more shots than they were in the first set, and they're doing a good job of keeping Virginia Wesleyan out of system. And if you can keep a team that likes to pound balls at the net out of system, it makes it a lot harder for them to do that, and they have to get creative on how they're going to score points.
So what you're saying is, instead of defending a hard-hitting team, go right at them, attack them, make them play their own game.
Make them play defense. It's
There you
crazy
go.
how that works,
Aaron Farina with a top-notch scouting report. So 18-14, score in the second set. Lynchburg looking to tie this match up 1-all. It was 25-10 if you missed the first set. Virginia Wesleyan taking it over Lynchburg. Nicole Bryce looking to keep momentum with the Hornets. Waters plays up to Sutton. Clater slams it down. Breeden was there, but a missile like that, not much you can do with it.
Virginia Wesleyan's middle attack has been phenomenal during these first 2 sets, and Lynchburg really needs to do a better job of defending on that ball. I mean, they've scored swinging to the one numerous times just in this set, and they really need to get a second blocker up there.
That ends the 4-0 run for Lynchburg. But have no fear if you're a Hornets fan. Able to respond, getting the point right back. It's now 19-15 with lefty Maya Green, a freshman from Fredericksburg, Virginia, headed back to serve. Ludovici to Sutton. Gives to Mahoney. Deflected out of play. Haley Sutton checks out and Grace Swears checks in. And she will have the honors of serving. Corey May plays it up. Green. Wanted O'Donnell. A little too much finesse on the roll shot. Into the net it goes. Again, going at that number 1 spot. Salafu continues a really strong showing in First of 2 matches Lynchburg will play today. Whistle blown. Points can be given to Virginia Wesleyan. Saw the net shaking. Looks like a player might have been entangled. O'Donnell take the hit. This is across the back line. So Waters will once again go back to serve. Chance to tie the second set at 20-all. And a common theme we've seen from Waters. Trying to overpower with the serves instead. Playing it soft and towards that first row. Blocked away, but out of play. With every game of volleyball I watch, I just marvel at how frustrating that has to be. The block was up, but blocked too well, I suppose. Hornets up by 2 nonetheless. Good dig from Bartemeyer. O'Donnell plays it over. Davies Hackenberg wants Ludovici. And the block sent down. Marlins can't play it up. Lynchburg up 22-19. Little break in the action. Mop up the floor. Got to get one of those basketball mops out here. I know there's somewhere here in Turner Gym. Christian now to serve. Sends it to Goddett. Set by Davies Hackenberg. The hit from Ludovici, missing wide right. Lynchburg a couple points away from tying the match up. 1 set apiece. Serve goes to Waters. Davies Hackenberg wants Ludovici. Dug up by Bartemeyer. The hit from Leeper. Ludovici there to defend. Waters sends it back to Ludovici. Laying out there. It's Bartemeyer once again. Long volley continues. Leeper tries again. Goddett lays out. Davies Hackenberg. Guess who for? Ludovici gets the point for Virginia Wesleyan. Back to a 3-point deficit for the Marlins. The freshman libero Isabel Goddett back to serve. Receiving error there from Bartemeyer. Doesn't result in a point for Virginia Wesleyan. Leeper sends it back to where the 5 would have been, but Ludovici lays out. Goddett takes a step forward.
That's a phenomenal play by Abby Leeper. I mean, just the court awareness that you have to see the congestion on the floor for Virginia Wesleyan's side and go up on the first hit and swing and place where you want on the back corner.
Set point. Breeden sends it to Ludovici. Receiving error brings the close to our second set. Hornets tie the match up 1-all. We'll step aside and come back with set number 3 between Lynchburg and Virginia Wesleyan, coming to you on LHSN.
Hi, Mara Willis. How are you? Pretty good.
A lot of people go to the universities to find something to be a part of while getting their education. And when you come here, Lynchburg is that something. It becomes a family. It doesn't matter how long ago you had your professor, they still remember you and they remember all of the hard work that you put in. They're always there for you and they always want to do the best that they can to help you succeed. Here you learn how to love one another regardless of what's going on or what you believe. You leave here better than what you came in. It's what this school's really good at doing.
Okay. We're good.
Look what you're missing!
It really don't matter to me, I'm just happy to be here, I might go crazy.
Welcome back to Turner Gym on the campus of the University of Lynchburg. We're tied up one set apiece. A match between Virginia Wesleyan and the Lynchburg Hornets. Hornets enter at 1-0 in ODAC play. It's the first ODAC game for Virginia Wesleyan, looking to get out on the right foot in conference action. TJ Winger alongside Aaron Farina. A tale of two very different sets. Opening set of play dominated by the Marlins, taking it 25-10. But in set two, much more equal, and the energy carried Lynchburg to the win, 25-20. Now we have the quote-unquote rubber match of sorts. One team trying to get the leg up on the other. Serve will start with Haley Sutton. Laying out is Flynn Christian. Leaper to take the hit. Denied at the net a couple times. Corey May sets up Emma Drake. She had a couple of big hits in set number two. Sutton gives to Waters. Now Lynchburg with the response. Drake denied at the net. Looks like it might have been Abigail Mahoney with the block. Another block, another point for Virginia Wesleyan. They're up 2-0. And the block has felt like the big swing factor early on in today's match. In the opening set, it was an impenetrable wall for Virginia Wesleyan. In the second set, Lynchburg started to piece things together. A couple of good hits, able to break down that block. But here, a couple points into set number 3. It's a 2-1 score, so obviously lock and change here. But first couple plays, that block making their presence felt again for Virginia Wesleyan.
The block has definitely been a key part in setting the tone for either team at this point. Either being able to break through the block, setting the block correctly, getting stuffed by the block. Like it's played a pretty key role in both sides' play.
In other terms, get ready to hear the word block a few more times in this broadcast. 3-1, Marlins out in front of the Hornets. Jenna Waters back to serve once again. She's played every set on the season for Virginia Wesleyan. The kill goes to Emma Clater. She's been a part of that block for the Marlins. Waters sends it back to Corey May. Back set by Breeden. Played over by Emma Drake. May will try again. Ludovici Playing it up for Clater. Laying out is Breeden. Set by Leaper. Drake missing just past the end line. I think that's another one of those moments in volleyball that just has to be appreciated. As everyone watches the ball fly by, the collective hold your breath moment as you wait to see if it's in or out. Marlins guessed right, and it missed long, and now garner another point, making it 6-1 in set number 3. Nicole Bryce, after the set from Taylor Breeden. That'll help get energy back up on the Lynchburg side.
Big shout out to Josie Walton coming in cold off the bench and passes a perfect pass for a great kill for Nicole Bryce.
Ludovici gets the shot off just ahead of the end, or the line underneath the net. I beg your pardon. Another point for Virginia Wesleyan. 5-point advantage. Emma Clater back to serve. Sends back to Flynn Christian. Miss hit, rolls all the way back towards the locker rooms. We saw a couple of 8-0 runs from Virginia Wesleyan in the first set. Looking to replicate some of that success. Clater lays out, as does Waters. Great hustle from the freshman, unable to get to it. Maya Green comes in, and she will head to the service line. Paige O'Donnell also checking in for Lynchburg. Set by Sutton. Kill from Collins. Sydney Collins has looked fantastic today. Senior, 86 kills entering the contest. Grace Swears to serve. O'Donnell to Josie Walton. Uncorks one well past the end line. And a timeout called by Coach Givens. I think talking about the coaching staff is a really interesting one. Two very young coaches for both teams. Coach Givens for the Hornets, just in her second season, and last year was an interim head coach, promoted full-time in March of this year. On the other side, it's Carissa Cumberbatch, first official season as a head coach for Virginia Wesleyan. Was an assistant coach in 2019 and 2020, and has coached up through the high school and club ranks. Done a good job there, especially with Coastal Hampton Roads VBC. But two young coaches looking to make their way through the ODAC. Helps having pretty good talent on both sides too, at least from where I'm standing.
Absolutely. I mean, as a coach, obviously having kids that are incredibly talented, but also kids just want to work hard makes your job so much easier. It makes it so much enjoyable. I
think for Coach Cumberbatch, it's interesting taking over a program that has had some success inside the ODAC, and that tradition also helps out a ton. And one more interesting connection between these two teams, both with young coaches, but also setter Alexis Davies-Hackenberg, former Lynchburg Hornet, transfers to Virginia Wesleyan in 2019. Connection to both sides, to say the least. She's seen a fair amount of action. She's out on the court right now. Essentially, when it hasn't been Haley Sutton out to be the setter, it's been Davies-Hackenberg. Another good serve from Swears. Princess Salafu gets it over. Ludovici finds the hole in the Lynchburg defense and stretches it out to an 8-point Marlins lead. Green pops it up for Walton. Blocked by Collins. Hornets look to stop the bleeding. Shot from O'Donnell. Missing wide left. 10-point advantage for Virginia Wesleyan. Now a 5-0 run for the Marlins, all with Swears at the service line. Walton gets it over on the third touch. Really nice play. Davies Hackenberg tries to play coy on the second. Got it, lays out. Can't get an arm on it. Big point there for Lynchburg, trying to recapture some momentum. And it ends the 5-0 Virginia Wesleyan run. Bartemeyer to serve. Sends it over to Ludovici, and Davies Hackenberg called for the double. Bartemeyer sends it towards Waters. Davies Hackenberg sets up Collins. Just a step away from Flynn Christian. And looking at this first and third set, it feels like Virginia Wesleyan has won a lot of points, and then you look at the second set, it feels like the Marlins gave the Hornets a lot of points. Slight difference, but a big one at the same time. Big hack from Waters. Player in the net. Point goes to Lynchburg, making it 14-6. Christian from Columbia, South Carolina, serves for Lynchburg. Ludovici from the back line gets the point for Virginia Wesleyan. Lead back to 9. Game 1 of 3 to be played in our tri-match here, Wayne Profit Court. Following this, Virginia Wesleyan will take on the Averett Cougars. Future ODAC matchup, as is our 5 o'clock final game today, University of Lynchburg and Averett. Got it, pops it up for Davies Hackenberg. Ludovici once again. Green for O'Donnell. Block looked like it was Clater. Waters is there too. 16-6, and this third set playing a lot more like the first set that Virginia Wesleyan won 25-10. Miscommunication from the Lynchburg side results in a point gifted to the Marlins. And another timeout called. And looking at Wednesday night's game where Lynchburg rolled over Guilford in straight sets, the communication was great, as was the energy, and we talked about it during that broadcast. And with talking with some of the coaches after Wednesday's game, we had it confirmed. There was a scavenger hunt prior to Wednesday's game that helped team bonding, and it was something that assistant coach Ryan Turner was not thrilled about having to do, but was happy with the results at the same time. He noted it's just silly how those little things work. And really that last play was the only time we haven't seen Lynchburg on the same page. That communication seems to be continuing where it was on Wednesday.
I talked to Coach Ryan Turner right after Wednesday's game also, and I was like, congratulations, like big one. He goes, you know, it's that freaking scavenger hunt.
At least he's understanding to what the cause was.
It works.
Jumping in a fountain, taking pictures with squirrels. I mean, if that doesn't make you friends with somebody, genuinely, I don't know what will. Good icebreaker. It's better than the whole going around in a circle, fun fact about yourself.
Absolutely.
Isabel Gaudet back to serve for the Marlins. 8 points away from winning the third set. Marlins looking to move ahead 2-1 in this match. Flynn Christian down to a knee. Green sets up. Lieber takes the hit, but denied. O'Donnell able to get it over. Davies Hackenberg wants Clater. Miss hit. Looks like somebody might have been in the net. Waters comes on, takes the hit. Now the whistle comes, and it looks like another double from Davies Hackenberg. Second time we've seen that called against one of the two setters we've seen for Virginia Wesleyan, Davies Hackenberg, the other being Haley Sutton. Hard strike from Waters, but right at Bartemeyer. Leeper punches it over. Clater sends it back to the freshman Bartemeyer. Back set by Breeden. Hit comes from Emma Drake. Waters tries Bartemeyer once again. On the second, Breeden plays it over. Davis Hackenberg wants Waters, won't have it. Drake walks the tightrope across the back line, and similar to what we talked about on a play towards the end of the second set from Abby Leeper, just great court awareness, seeing the opening and taking advantage of it. Breeden to serve. Davies Hackenberg on the second. Leeper right towards Waters. Roll from Waters. Set up by Flynn Christian, and the hit off the arms of Ludovici. Point goes to the Hornets. Breeden gets it over to the net on the serve. Popped up through the rafters, navigating through all that traffic. But the point does go to Virginia Wesleyan as Lynchburg wasn't able to mount any play. At the line is Haley Sutton, native to Yorktown, Virginia. Breeden wants Drake. Shot sent right to Ludovici. Now from the back line, coming up and getting the point is Haley Sutton. Not bad for the setter. Came in with 16 kills, excuse me. Sutton back to serve once again. Leeper down to got it. Virginia Wesleyan kept it alive for just a moment. But another powerful strike from Abby Leeper. Bartemeyer checks out, and comes Josie Walton once again. She had some good play in the second set. Ace for Lynchburg, cuts the deficit down to 8. Sutton sets up Waters. Now Drake, deflected off the top of the net. 9-point Marlins lead now. Breeden wants Walton. Gaudette sets up Ludovici. Breeden lays out, but a step away from making the play. 21-11, your score in the third set. Waters sends it to Christian. Back set from Breeden. A good kill from Emma Drake. When we've seen her, I've liked what I've seen from Emma Drake. Senior from Virginia, second team all-conference last year. Warner to serve. Sutton sets. Perfectly executed roll from Abigail Mahoney. Emma Clater eyeing the end of this set. 3 points away from getting there is Virginia Wesleyan. Through the hands of Christian. Leeper can't keep it alive. It's now 23-12. Right back to Christian. Salafu takes the hit after the set from Breeden. Sutton plays it for Collins, and yet another kill for the senior. Set point for set number 3. Christian forced to lay out. Drake plays it all the way over across the court to Walton. Player in the net. Point goes to the Hornets. Maya Green checks in, and she will head to the service line. Right to Waters. Sutton wants Mahoney. O'Donnell in the right position. Got it, lays out. Ludovici able to cross the net. Green. O'Donnell tries again. Right to Waters. Sutton. Ludovici. That connection has been lethal, and it's the connection that brings a close to the third set. 25-12. Marlins come away with the win in set number 3, proving to 2-1 in the match. Looking to close it out in set number 4, which will bring to you after this. You're watching Lynchburg and Virginia Wesleyan on LHSN. Wayne Profit Court. About to be set number 4 between Virginia Wesleyan and Lynchburg. Marlins lead 2-1 in the match. TJ Wingert alongside Aaron Farina. Thank you all for spending your Saturday afternoon with our first of 3 games in this tri-match hosted by the University of Lynchburg. Hornets looking for a bounce-back set, just like they did in the second, where they looked really, really good, taking the second set 25-10. But the first and the third felt very dominated by Virginia Wesleyan. 25-10 in the first, 25-13 the score in the third. Consistency is obviously a hard thing to coach and work through, and it's easier said than done to be consistent. But what are some of the things you can adjust in between sets to find some consistency, or at least get back to where you were in the second set if you're Lynchburg?
I think that one of the things that needs to be reminded is constant communication, obviously, is the number one. But being able to I mean, it's just an effort thing, you know, and obviously that's in the individual player, but I mean, you need to stress as a coach, like, we need to be going after everything. We need to be giving 110% on every touch, on every serve, on every set, on every swing, whatever it is. And that doesn't mean necessarily like swinging away at everything, but 100% mental focus on everything that's going on the floor.
And for Virginia Wesleyan, a set away from getting another win. They won on Wednesday against St. Mary's of Maryland. What are you looking from the Marlins to try to close this one out?
I think that Virginia Wesleyan needs to settle a pass. I think that we've seen that in the second, when Lynchburg was obviously the more dominant team, and even a little bit in parts of the third. I mean, we saw them get into a little bit of a serve receive or defensive rut, and they struggle a little bit more when they're playing out of system, like we've seen that. So Lynchburg needs to work to keep them out of system, and Virginia Wesleyan needs to work really hard to keep themselves in system.
Good start to the fourth set for Lynchburg. Abby Leeper gets the Hornets out ahead 1-0. Taylor Breeden at the service line. Set up by Sutton. Kill for Jenna Waters. And you want to talk about big swingers, Jenna Waters might take the crown, at least in this first game. That's saying something considering what we've seen from Sydney Collins and a number of other players for the Virginia Wesleyan squad. Ludovici to Sutton. Mahoney gets it down. 2-1, Wesleyan out in front. And Sutton now to serve, missing long, gives the point right back to Lynchburg. So next game for both sides against Averett coming today. Right after this one, we'll bring to you our second broadcast. It'll be between the Marlins and the Averett Cougars. Player crossing the line underneath the net. Point goes to the Hornets. Meanwhile, at 5 o'clock, or at least that's, as of right now, the start time. Maybe check in before. Maybe just don't leave the broadcast. That might be my advice. But regardless, 5 o'clock, Lynchburg and Averett will get underway. Ludovici pops it up for Sutton. And a missile from Waters, missing wide. Leeper attacking Waters. Sutton gives to the freshman. Breeden able to get it over. Hit strong off the forearm near the body of Ludovici. And there you're seeing what you were talking about, Aaron. Defensive rut to start the fourth. And this is eerily familiar to what we saw in the second set. Will history repeat itself? Time will tell that story. But at least a strong start for the Hornets. Tapped off the top of the tape. A little bit of luck never hurt anybody either, at least if you're a Lynchburg fan. Now a 6-2 score and a timeout called by Carissa Cumberbatch. And I think that's exactly the response you would want to see if you're a Lynchburg fan. Drop the third set by 12-point differential, come back and put it behind you right away.
Absolutely. I mean, Lynchburg does a fairly good job. First home game aside, does a fairly good job of, if they come out a little bit slow, they gaining some momentum at some point during, whether it's during that first set or if it's in the huddle before the second set, they do a good job of putting forth the max amount of effort that they can. Like hustle plays is something that you'll see a lot from this Lynchburg team.
And I think something else to be excited about if you're a Hornets fan, and maybe a little worrisome if you're a Marlins fan, this trend could become something different here in the fourth set, but the team that's gotten out to the early advantage in each set has been the one to come away with the victory, which of course sounds about right. Get out to an early lead, it's nice and easy then to try to close it out. That's not always the case, but today it has been. Serve goes to Waters. Sutton for Ludovici, laying out his Leeper. No one else there for the second. And that'll start. And something that Virginia Wesleyan has done really well is when they've gotten to the service line, they have mounted anywhere from 5 to 8 point runs time and time again.
I think that's one thing that is really key to Virginia Wesleyan's game. You know, when they get behind the service line, they're serving really tough. You know, they're putting a lot of pressure on the Lynchburg serve, receive, and back line. And they're very clearly not afraid to make a service error. You know, and they've made very few, if any, but tough serves that keep people in games.
And I think that's part of why we look at this matchup between these two teams. And while it's 2-1, it's also fair to say Virginia Wesleyan has been the driver's seat in that perspective. They dominate at the service line, and they create those long runs, so it feels like they are the better team, at least playing so far today. Mahoney able to get it over the net. Breeden setting up Corey May. Strike goes right to Gaudette. Sutton wants Ludovici. Struck hard off the arms of Bartemeyer and out of play. Marlins tied up 6-all. And a slight adjustment here in the fourth set. Bartemeyer throwing on the libero red. Great hustle from Gaudette. But the shot on the near side from Ludovici missing wide left.
Throughout this entire match, we've seen Gaudette lay out for some incredible saves to make for her teammates.
I can only imagine the floor burn
The floor
that
burn,
Isabel
the bruises.
Gaudette. I don't even want to think about it. Ludovici denied by Salafu. They'll try once again. Sutton, softer approach, and it pays dividends. Marlins tie it up 7-7. Gaudette checks out, in comes the ever-dangerous Sydney Collins. Emma Clater headed back to the service line. Challenging Abby Leeper. Breeden sets up Emma Drake. On the other end, Sutton for Mahoney. Played up by Bartemeyer. Cross court. They'll try Corey May. Clater's there. Collins sends it to the middle of the Hornets defense. Leeper lays out, but no answer thereafter. And Virginia Wesleyan takes their first lead of the fourth set. May tries again. And into the net she goes. Another point for the Marlins. Serve goes to Corey May. Emma Drake missing long. This is what we were just talking about. When Virginia Wesleyan settles into a rhythm, they can create really long runs at the service line. Later to Leeper. Breeden. Drake will try again. Great hustle from Salafu, keeping it alive for Lynchburg. Blocked up by Collins. Clater for Sutton, now Ludovici. Barely able to keep it in. The attack continues to be a strength today for Virginia Wesleyan. We've talked about free swingers left and right. And even earlier we noted the setters playing really well. In addition to that, Haley Sutton, Alexis Davies, Hackenberg. And when this Wesleyan offense gets some momentum behind it, it is something to marvel at. And at least early on in the season, looking like a team that could be very dangerous inside the ODAC. They were picked to finish second in the preseason poll, tied with Randolph-Macon and just behind Washington and Lee.
You know, Virginia Wesleyan, when I was watching them warm up, obviously they've got a couple newer players, obviously since I've been in school.
Sure.
So I don't remember a whole lot of them. But, I mean, I was watching their warm-ups, and I was like, God, Jenna Waters is just going to destroy in this game. You know, she was swinging at everything, just cramming balls down on the other side of the floor. And we come into this match, and she's had some good players, but she's been kind of quiet other than that. And Morgan Ludovic, she is just absolutely crushing it for Virginia Wesleyan right now. I mean, she's by far their hot hand, and she has done a really good job of creating a lot of offense for them.
Yeah, Lodovici and Mahoney, Sydney Collins, they've all looked great. Emma Clater's had a couple of nice kills, and a big difference in this one, the hit percentage, 23.9% for Virginia Wesleyan, 2.6% for Lynchburg. 11-7 score in set number 4. This will help that hit percentage. Princess Salafu gets the point for the Hornets. It'll be Maya Green back to serve. Hornets looking to mount a run, similar to what we just saw Virginia Wesleyan have come to a close. Mahoney, as she's taking the strike whistle blown, it'll go against the Marlins, and Lynchburg finds themselves down by 2 now. Serve goes to Waters. Sutton, cross court, looking for Ludovici. Corey May blocked at the net. O'Donnell able to play it over. Sutton sets up Collins. She's denied by Salafu. Salafu tries to get it back over. Chaos right in front of the net. Virginia Wesleyan does win the point, stretching their lead up to 3. Grace Swears, sophomore from Winterville, North Carolina. She's put together plenty of good serves today. Green for May. Back far left corner. What a strike from Corey May. Senior comes through in a big moment. She'll check out now. And coming in her spot is Flynn Christian, who had been wearing Lobero uniform. Now comes in presumably as a defensive specialist. An ace directed towards Waters. Cuts the deficit in half. Davies, Hackenberg sets up Sydney Collins, and every time Collins has been able to put one down, my word, you feel it here through the stands. She's also been great on the defensive side, making that block really tough to get through for Lynchburg. Green for Leeper. Ludovici in the right spot. Davies, Hackenberg sets up Collins. They'll try once again. Bartemeyer there to defend. O'Donnell finds the soft spot. Makes it 13-12. Virginia Wesleyan still ahead. But a really strong battle back and forth between these two teams now. Waters forced to send it over on the 3rd. Leeper denied by Collins, but it goes out of play. Here in the 4th set, Lynchburg got ahead early. Marlins able to battle back. Had a good run with Emma Clater at the service line. Lynchburg responds with a run of their own, and we're tied up 13-13, and then on cue, Virginia Wesleyan able to regain their advantage. Gaudette at the service line, sends it all the way back. Green gives to O'Donnell. Sutton for Clater. O'Donnell gets it up for a second. No one there after for the Hornets defense. Two-point Virginia Wesleyan lead. Green wants Leeper. Just barely misses across the right sideline. Soft serve from Gaudette, maybe a little too soft. Goes right to the net. Ends the 3-0 run for Virginia Wesleyan. Davies, Hackenberg wanted Clater. Leaper able to get it up. Block goes out. Hornets down by just one. Waters gets it down, keeps it in this time. Waters has been a little erratic when given her chances, but comes through in a big spot there. Virginia Wesleyan back up by 2.
Like you said, I mean, as a freshman, she's a little inconsistent, but when she puts a ball down, she makes a statement with it.
Haley Sutton, a server for the Marlins. Abby Leaper, no slouch herself. A thunderous strike from the right arm, and now she heads back to serve. And this has been the obstacle right here for Lynchburg. After giving up the lead in the early goings of this 4th set, fell behind, and they've gotten it back to 1 a number of times, but have not been able to get over the hump. Can they do it here? Ludovici sends it to Leaper. We're tied up. Kill for Alexis Horner, sophomore from Charlestown, West Virginia. The big point for the Lynchburg Hornets. Waters lays out Sutton. Ludovici, or make that Mahoney. Gaudette lays out once again. Mahoney has it tipped away by Horner, but it does go out of play. 18-17, Marlins out in front of the Hornets. If Virginia Wesleyan wins the 4th set, they go home with a 3-1 win. Or they don't go home, they play right after, but metaphorically speaking, go home with a 3-1 win over Lynchburg. Breeden for May. Ruled in. Tie game once again, this time at 18. Lynchburg looking for their first lead since it was 6-5 in the 4th set. Warren to the 1 spot. Roll from Mahoney. Drake with power sends it right at Gaudette. And Lynchburg does retake the lead. Right back to Waters. That's been the point of attack for Lynchburg's service. But the strong strike results in a point for Virginia Wesleyan, tying it up 19 all. Emma Clater back to serve. Right at Leaper, might have been out. Won't matter, Emma Drake sends it right down the near sideline.
I'll tell you one thing about Emma Drake. Do not give her the line if you are blocking against her, because 9 times out of 10, she will put that ball down your throat.
We've seen it a couple times today alone. Lynchburg forfeits the lead as the serve misses long from Maya Green. Grace Swears checks in and will serve. 20 all in the 4th. Green for Salafu. Waters gets an arm up on it. Conlins. Great hustle from Green. Strike from Ludovici, right to Bartemeyer. Now Corey May, right to Gaudette. Ludovici tries again. Little too finesse. Hornets up 21-20. And you can hear it. Turner Gymnasium is rocking right now. Again, Lynchburg attacks Waters. Collins deflected by Salafu. Virginia Wesleyan keeps it. Ludovici comes through once again. Leaper into the net. Marlins back ahead now, 22-21. Ludovici, the name we've said probably the most today. Sophomore from Virginia Beach. Looking to mount a rally to bring a close to this match. Green, Salafu deflected by Collins. Bartemeyer for Leaper. Ludovici's there. Collins has to give back to Gaudet. Tipped up by Collins, landing harmlessly onto the hardwood. Hornets have the response and tie it up 22-all. Freshman Jordan Bartemeyer goes to Gaudet. Waters up for Ludovici. Perfectly placed. Virginia Wesleyan 2 points away from bringing this match to its conclusion. From one freshman libero serving to the other side, Gaudet. Same year, trying to accomplish the same. The set goes to O'Donnell. Davies Hackenberg wanted Clater, popped up a few times. Player in the net against Virginia Wesleyan. 23-23. Well, it doesn't get any more back and forth than what we've seen. Our last 10 points total earned between the two teams. Both sides just looking for the edge, the advantage. Hornets looking for set number 5. Marlins looking to close it down with the win. Waters puts Virginia Wesleyan ahead. Match point, Haley Sutton. The junior setter's been stellar all day long. And timeout called. Called by Coach Hannah Givens. Opportunity to, quote unquote, ice Haley Sutton. And also come up with the potential response for Lynchburg. And Aaron, our prior broadcasts here on LHSN have been 3-0 straight set victories. Today we've been treated. This fourth set's been fantastic to watch.
I know, a lot of volleyball going on today too, so get used to it.
I'm going to get my money's worth, no doubt about it. Hope to have you stick with us on LHSN throughout our entire broadcast schedule. Again, this is just match number 1 of 3. After this, it's Virginia Wesleyan on the back end of a double header against the Averett Cougars, and then the Cougars will stay out onto the court to take on the University of Lynchburg. What a treat here in this ODAC matchup between the Lynchburg Hornets and the Virginia Wesleyan Marlins. Sutton back to serve, looking to close this one down. Breeden for Horner, blocked by Clater. Virginia Wesleyan holds on. A great battle between ODAC foes. Virginia Wesleyan takes their first game in conference action and improved to 8-3 overall. Lynchburg falls to 2-6 and 1-1 in ODAC play. But considering how good this Virginia Wesleyan team has looked today and throughout the early portions of their schedule, moral victories don't pay bills, but I think Coach Givens has to be happy with her team's performance in this one.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are a lot of positive things that Lynchburg can take away from this match, and then there are also a lot of things that they know they need to continue to work on. You know, I think that the biggest thing for Lynchburg right now is they need to find some consistency in their play. You know, it's obviously we saw in the first set it was that was not the team that finished the game, needless to say. And I mean, they just need to find some consistency from how they start the game to how they end the game and continue it all the way through, whether it's 3 or 5 sets.
And then quickly for Virginia Wesleyan, man, they look good. And that attack is fun to watch.
They did. They looked really good. I think that it was nice to see Lynchburg be able to poke some holes in their defense and find a couple of their weaknesses and stuff. So, but I mean, altogether, they are a really, really talented offensive team. So it'll be fun to see them compete the rest of this season.
And you can see Virginia Wesleyan in action just a few minutes from now against Averett. You'll see Lynchburg later on, set for a 5 o'clock start time against the same Averett Cougars. Thank you all for joining us for game number 1. We're going to stay live, but we're going to step aside for broadcast number 1. Hope to have you join us for stream number 2. For Aaron Farina, my director Sam Rice, and the rest of our LHSN broadcast crew, game number 1 is done. Until game number 2 gets underway, we are signing off.